I want to thank everybody for joining us this evening. Um, my name is Megan, she, her pronouns. I'm joined by my colleague, Erik Berman. And we are here today from BAYA, the Bay Area Young Adult Librarians Association. And today we're going to talk about how BAYA can help you absolutely slay the stacks and level up your teen librarian journey. So hopefully many of you are currently working with teens or plan to work with teens or have been newly voluntold you have to work with teens, or maybe thinking about it, not quite sure. This is a presentation that's intended for you. All right. So I'll just introduce ourselves. As you can see, we represent two different library systems across the Bay Area, from Alameda to San Jose. Erik is the Teen Services Coordinator for Alameda County Library, and he was the BAYA president last year. He now serves as the past president role. Erik, do you want to talk a little bit about how you got into this role?
Sure. I think maybe this is similar to a lot of you, maybe it's not. I was a library kid. I spent a lot of time in the library, worked part-time as a page through college, graduated, had no idea what I wanted to do. And somebody said, Erik, you've been working in libraries for 8 years. Maybe you should be a librarian. And it was really like the sun went down and like shone on me. That was great. But even so, I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do until I started taking a lot of classes at SJSU. I took a very influential youth services class that really helped kind of inspire me to be an advocate, to really care about the teens and the community. And my professor there was like really pivotal in making me sort of a teen advocate that I am today. Uh, from there, I've kind of worked in a lot of libraries all over the Bay Area and the Sacramento Valley. I was sort of a teen services coordinator, a kind of like program position at San Jose Public as we built the new teen space. Then I moved over to Alameda County because they're looking for that. Whereas I've been since there. It's been a great blast.
Wonderful. And so, as I said, my name is Megan Maloy. I'm the Senior Librarian of Youth Services for San Jose Public Library, and I am the BAYA president for this year, 2025. And I was a big reader, but I wasn't quite a library kid growing up. I actually got my undergrad degree from UC Santa Cruz in art and photography, and I graduated in 2009, if we all remember, was a very tough year economically, especially for the Central Valley, where I'm from, San Joaquin County. And so, in amongst my exploration, my very jobless exploration, I came across the idea of working in archives and records management, thinking I wanted to do that. Went to library school and through the iSchool. And my first actual job as I was finishing up my degree, I got a paraprofessional role in a middle school in Pleasanton. And from there, it was the skies darkened, the light shone down moment like, oh my gosh, I have to work with this age group for forever. They're funny. I enjoy the literature. This is a really great space for these kids who are in the middle of this big transition. And um, from there, at that middle school is when I first heard about BAYA actually, and I first joined BAYA back in the day. So that was really exciting for me. And then I finished my degree, and I went to San Jose Public Library where I met Erik, and I immediately wanted his job. And so, and so,
And took it.
and eventually it took a while, only after he left. And then I was working in a few different libraries around San Jose. And when a space opened up in Teen HQ, which is at the King Library, which is behind me in downtown that sits on the San Jose State campus, I transferred into that role where I got to work on a couple really cool projects around the idea of civic engagement with young people. And that led to me working with our city's youth commission, which was a big passion area of mine, librarianship and civic engagements, and really having helping young people advocate for themselves and advocating for them at the same time. And then the space opened up for me to step into a management role. So I oversee the position that I was in, which is very exciting. So youth services is both Teenage Q and the children's room. So very exciting. Unfortunately, our colleague Jessica could not be here tonight. She's sick, poor thing. So I hope she gets better. But she is our secretary. She's been our secretary for the past couple of years for BAYA. And when you email us, she's the person you are communicating with, and she's wonderful. She is a librarian at Teenage Q, and she has a very similar background to how she kind of fell into this work, starting as a middle school teacher and then coming into librarianship. Between us, we represent, a variety of different career stages and different paths we took here to get to teen librarianship. But we all started kind of where most of you, I assume, are in library school or just beginning our careers. And BAYA has played a role in helping to grow and expand our careers and those opportunities. So, in our presentation, we're going to try and cover these 5 objectives. So first of all, who is BAYA? What's our vibe? The power of bi-monthly professional development and the role that BAYA plays there. Just go over some real strategies that we use in BAYA to connect with one another and to support teen librarianship, as well as take a peek at some survey insights we gleaned from some outreach we did, building your professional network, and then ultimately how to further develop your teen librarian glow-up journey and what that looks like. By the end of this, you'll know exactly how BAYA can be a resource to support your professional journey, no matter what stage you're at. So let's start with who we are. We are BAYA. We are a teen librarian community located in the San Francisco Bay Area and beyond. And when we say beyond, we really mean it. We have members from as far south as Monterey, as far north as Sonoma County, as far east as Stockton. And yes, we welcome new students, new grads, people who are just starting to maybe even think about teen services. Our mission is very simple: support professionals who work with teens and young adults. Whether you're in public library, school library, or any other youth serving organization, whether you're paraprofessional or still getting your degree, and exploring where you want to specialize, we really want to be able to connect and support you. We're the ultimate vibe for teen career development, and I'll kind of explain exactly what that means a little bit later in our presentation. And BAYA has actually been around for a while. Now, I wasn't there in 1986, but we first got incorporated in 1986. That's nearly 40 years ago. We currently have 32 active members. And very recently, actually, somebody sent us a big box of documents, and we received older BAYA records where the first BAYA meeting was actually sometime in 1967 at the Oakland Public Library. So this peer developed collective resource of focusing on teen librarianship has been around a while.
So, I mean, you might be wondering, why does a local organization like BAYA matter? Why do we exist? Why do we do what we're doing? And that's because we feel like these sort of local library organizations, especially teen service organizations, matter more than ever before. You may have heard the news about YALSA being dissolved and folded into the larger children's services part of ALA. But that's really just a symptom, in my opinion, of this larger method, this larger meme of support for teen librarianship diminishing in the community, in the profession, in your libraries. There's fewer dedicated resources. There's fewer advocacy sources for teen librarians. You may have found it in your own local areas that teen librarians might be asked to do a story time or an adult book club as part of their normal work. Regional groups like BAYA really fill that gap. They're so important to give you that specialized teen library support that you might not be finding anywhere else. And they really serve as this essential touchstone for advocacy, for support for funding, for just support in your life as you become a librarian, as take your first steps toward that career. And I don't want to be too doom and gloom. I really want to talk a little bit about why being a librarian is the best job. And I'll just say best job, flat out. Um, I think the most important thing is being a teen librarian really lets you unleash creativity to um, innovate, to try new things. I've played with VR equipment, with cameras, with 3D printers, with board games, with knitting, with book clubs, with journalists, with poetry programs, all in the last year. Really get to explore and engage and try to find those experiences that really matter to teens. Something else that I'm really passionate about is that libraries are really not just the ultimate, but maybe the only third space that a lot of the teens have. You know, back in my day, when I was a young person, there were parks, there were malls, there were arcades where teens could spend time, where I could spend time. Almost all of those are going away. There aren't spaces where teens can be the teens anymore. It's really home or school, and that can kind of be the only things that they have available. Um, One of the things I really like is you can take your special interests, the things that you care about, and design them into teen programming. I'm sure you've heard about some fantastic teen programs. You'll continue to hear them if you go to conferences or read articles. You dig a little deeper, and you'll find that that woman who did this incredible quilting program for medical research loves quilting and cares about medicine. That person who did that fantastic video game program is a gamer themselves. It's really an opportunity for you to take the things that you care about and you're interested and get paid to do them. Um, Something that I want to talk about too, working with teens is incredibly rewarding in a way that you don't see with anybody else. Those transitional moments where you see teens grow from like a children to an adult to learn to sort of be themselves, to express themselves, are incredibly profound and incredibly moving. And to be part of that, to help them grow and help them learn to be themselves, is such a rewarding and satisfying feeling. Um, there's nothing like when there's a shy teen or that troublemaker teen that just pisses you off every day because they push, push, push. They open up to you and they connect and they become like this great friend and advocate for the library. They're going to all your programs. It's this incredible feeling. Um, and the final thing is that teen librarians are pretty awesome people. So when you become a teen librarian, when you join that community, you're immediately connected to a group of people who care about the things that you do, who are interested in things that you're interested about and want to help and want to be part of that. And that's not just a California thing. That's something that I found across the state, across the country, really kind of across the world, though I'd love to meet more teen librarians from like Norway and Mongolia. But as much as we love the work, it does require some unique challenges. And that's part of why BAYA exists. Um, Let me break down some of the things that make teen librarianship so complex. All right. I think it's important that we got to be real about the things that make teen librarianship unique and challenging. I think the biggest one is that there are so many different and sometimes conflicting goals. When you're designing programming and services for teens, you're balancing educational goals and with entertainment goals, with development goals. There's this huge array of ages, 12 to 18. Some libraries might even extend that up to like 20, 21. And teens are very different in those age groups. And sometimes you have that 12-year-old that's a lot more mature than that 18-year-old, and you've got to balance all of that. That's all competing with this idea that technology is becoming increasingly sophisticated. It's becoming increasingly complex. It's taking a lot of their attention away. It's becoming a primary way in which teens connect. It's a primary way in which teens like use their lives. But something that we're also learning is that teens are not keeping up with digital literacy in the way that I think a lot of us at some have hoped. So as these platforms are changing, as these lives are changing, um, the things that we have to teach about, the things we have to know about are changing everywhere. Um, in a very same way, I mean, COVID really messed up a whole generation of kids. Um, but even before that, teens have unique mental health and social issues that they need to be aware of. We're doing a lot of work with managing anxiety and depression, not just for teens who you might think are worrying about that, such as being challenged with like homelessness or income issues, but there's huge pressures on even high performing teens, right? There's a lot of expectations they have to go to Harvard and have to go to Stanford, have to be a doctor or a lawyer, and that's driving them to mental illness. Teens also have this incredibly broad set of interests for the books. Um, I think for a long time we had some pretty strong teen specific genres. Now that's kind of changed a little bit. There's a wide array of materials that teens are interested in. And you've got to sort of balance and collect for all those. At the same time, teen books are the ones that are being challenged the most often, and you have to deal with the challenges of those teens. Another thing that's hard is that building those authentic connections are hard. I feel like teens always assume that you're lying to them. So being this adult in these teen spaces, getting them to open up, to connect earnestly, even just to listen to you sometimes, is a little bit difficult. You can't yell at them. You can't shout at them to change the rules. You have to work with them. And then finally, maybe the most important thing is there's not a lot of teen librarians anywhere. You know, it's very rare that there's a, a number of teen librarians in a particular library. There may not be very many might not be very many teen librarians in your system. The roles that you have to do, the needs you have is uh, unique and like difficult to find. Let's go on, I think. Thanks.
All right. So it's a lot of different things that we're dealing with, a lot of different challenges. How does BAYA help address some of these challenges? First thing one is it's a consistent and reliable learning opportunity, networking opportunity. Every other month, same time, you can count on it. There's no guessing when the next session will be, which can often be the case for some of these much larger professional organizations as they change leadership, funding changes, and sometimes work plan focuses change. BAYA is always there, very consistent, reliable group of a network of people who you get to know. The topics that we discuss at our meetings are chosen by and for librarians. It's member-driven content based upon real needs and challenges that we are facing, and it does have a hyper-local focus, which can sometimes be really nice for things that we are experiencing. There's no central admin group kind of deciding the work plan and what we need to be working and focusing this year. It's collectively decided by the membership the prior year. It's a mix of practical skills and some big picture thinking. We have workshops on different programs and different initiatives, balanced with strategic planning, some theory, different skills we can put to use. Sometimes you need to know how to run a gaming tournament, and sometimes you need to think more about policy implications and how this is going to affect the future of teen librarianship or just our young people in general. We consider all aspects of this work, and it's a wide range of things that we get to discuss and cover in our space. And it is a safe space. It's a safe space for questions and experimentation. There's a no judgment zone. Ask the dumb questions, share your failures, test new ideas in our space. We have all been there, or we've all probably at least had the same questions. And we actually have an entire portion of our meetings that's dedicated to what we say here stays here. And it's been a really effective way to kind of work through some challenges that a lot of those challenges that Erik talked about that we face in our own library systems or with our teams. And it really helps that we have an intimate group size. It's small enough for those meaningful discussions and maybe some personal attention if there's something we need to work through or something you want to share, but it's large enough for some diverse perspectives. Our meetings usually range somewhere from about 10 to 20 people, so you get to participate. And we have been outreaching to encourage a more diverse cross section of librarian membership from all types of librarians and all types of ways that we work with young adults. Plus, it's all virtual. We did have one semi in-person meeting this year, but we did it hybrid, so you could still join virtually. But we had a small book sale, which was really fun. So you can join from anywhere. You can join from North France. You can join from Wyoming. If you miss it, we record it, and all of our notes and meeting minutes are online for you to review later. So this is kind of an idea of what we actually cover. We review different things. So we spend a good 30 to 45 minutes of each meeting to review programming that actually works, whether it's, escape rooms that you ran, maker spaces, or getting rid of your maker space, because sometimes not all technology is evergreen. Gaming tournaments, book clubs that don't flop, mental health programming, how to engage teens around some of those more sensitive subjects, college prep workshops. We share what succeeds and we also share what bombs. We kind of give tips to one another. Collection development strategies. Some of us don't know that much about anime or manga. I guarantee you someone else in BAYA does, and they can help you with that collection and that selection. Understanding and reviewing diverse authors and how to support any book challenges or bans we may encounter. Weeding strategies and how to really maximize our budget when we are looking at smaller and smaller budgets for our collections. We talk a bit about technology, how to integrate it into the programming we do, into the work that we do, ways that we see our teens using it, whether it's do coding workshops work for teens or do they just want to lead those coding workshops, how to help teens do digital storytelling, how to keep them safe through social media, as well as how to promote our programs through social media or different marketing strategies. AI literacy has been a very big topic as of late, and troubleshooting any kind of disasters with technology that we may run into or need help with. Mental health awareness and support is a big piece of teen librarianship. And being trauma informed librarians is an important aspect of that librarianship. How to recognize crisis situations, the safest, most sensitive way to do resource referrals, creating safe spaces for our teens, whether, we make sure we have somewhere comfy for them to be, creating, no questions asked, sort of like resource boxes for them to maybe pull out some pencils, paper, menstrual products, where they feel sort of like safe and taken care of, as well as just supporting our teens in general, making sure we are that trusted adult in the room, not a teacher, not a parent, but somebody they feel comfortable sort of connecting with and building a trusting relationship with. We go over cultural competency, unconscious bias, how to recognize it, especially when we're building collections, how to create accessible programming, and really engage and do more outreach around building community partnerships and increasing our reach through multilingual resources. Professional development is a large piece of the work that we do. We can kind of discuss upcoming job opportunities in the Bay Area and around us, talk about different interview skills. There are opportunities to grow and do some leadership development, as well as present at different conferences on behalf of the work you do with teens through supporting BAYA. And work-life balance is also another really important thing that we kind of get to talk about and see, how we're making it all work with all these different challenges. The key is all of these topics come from other teen librarians working this, other people doing this work. It's not theoretical. These are all things that we all share together. Now for some survey insights that directly shape some of the programming that we do and some of the meeting topics that we do at BAYA. This past January, Erik and I were at the California School Library Association annual conference, which is in San Jose. It was very convenient this year. We surveyed over 80 school library professionals to better understand their professional development needs and how BAYA can support them. Traditionally, connecting with school libraries has always been very difficult to do. And we wanted to make sure that because they're very high touch, working closely with this teen and young adult age group, we wanted BAYA to be a resource for them. So these maps show the reach of our survey. It was across multiple school libraries all the way through California and definitely represented throughout the Bay Area. Here's what we discovered. So media literacy is the priority right now. 82% of library staff surveyed said that teens desperately need media literacy skills, with traditional literacy coming right behind at 80%. This tells us we need to focus on programming, helping you all develop media literacy instruction skills, connecting you with media literacy resources. And that was actually our topic for our March meeting this past year, where we worked with KQED, a partner in the Bay Area, to talk a bit about their media initiative they had, their media storytelling kit that's available for free to school libraries as well as public libraries to work and engage with young people. Key finding number 2, professional development is what we crave the most. Library staff are consistently asking for trauma-informed practices, DEI strategies, and tech integration support. These are all things that we can work together, network together to kind of support one another in developing new ideas, finding different ways to employ these strategies, as well as just connecting over any issues we may encounter and connecting with community partners that can support in this work. And of course, number 3, everyone needs more money. 83% of library staff were really kind of interested in the idea of small mini grant funding for collection development or even programming, proving what we already knew. Budgets are tight and collections need constant refreshment. Programs need to be able to engage our teens and meet them where they're at. This data directly shapes the type of work and the type of topics we explore with BAYA. And so when you tell us what you need, we try and listen and respond and make BAYA reflective of its membership and the people who want to connect with us.
So we've talked a lot about these professional development sessions and what we've learned in order to find the topics that we need. But I can't overstate how important the network is. I don't know about you, but I'm terrible at networking, but it's so important to your job, and it's so much more important to advancing in your career. BAYA is all about networking. We have peer mentorship opportunities. We've got experienced teen librarians who love to connect with newcomers. We love to help and support. We've got informal relationships, skill sharing partnerships. The resource sharing and the collaboration is so important. We sort of mentioned that we share book lists, book recommendations. We share the programs that work and the programs that fail. We can have frank discussions about like vendors. If we've got crises in our work, things that we need to help or support with, and also collaborate on joint programming opportunities. I already mentioned a little bit about the opportunities in career advancement. Like it's a way to get a gauge on the other libraries in the area, get support for find people who help you provide references or help you practice for interview panels or give you advice for promotion strategies, talking about salary negotiation. A lot of us have already done that and we want to share that information. But also just emotional support and professional validation. It can be really lonely. It can really feel a little adversarial if you're the only teen librarian in your library. Know that there is a huge community of teen librarians and librarians who care about teens and library workers who care about teens who want to connect and be part of you. And then finally, this is just a way to start developing your professional reputation, both to help your library, but also to help your professional development growth. There's tons of speaking opportunities, participating in committees and leadership opportunities, recognition programs, ways to get that experience that you need to take the next step up in your career. So what do you gain? Like, what are our official perks as a BAYA member? So first, you have the access to the session recordings and resources. We have this huge library of past presentations on a huge variety of topics. We've got the handouts from those programs and the partners that we worked with, the templates, the resource lists, all available 24/7. The direct connection to your team librarian peers, both at the meetings and also outside of it. You got email access to the presenters, these informal mentorship connections, and peer consultation I talked about, and just using us as an extra brain for the problems that you need to solve. It's a way for you to share the things that you care about, the successes and failures that you had, get advice, get help, and also develop those professional development skills and workshop presentation skills that you'll need for the future. I talked a little bit about peer-driven professional development, but again, just this idea that we're all sharing, we're all learning together, and we're all bouncing ideas off each other and growing. And then finally, we really consider ourselves like a community support system. We've got these communication channels. We're always available to consult and connect. We can serve as professional references and band together for advocacy for things that we care about the most. Let me give you some more specific examples about how we've used these different programs. We share program ideas all the time. And when somebody shares a successful escape room or a gaming tournament format, everybody else looks at it, can adapt and implement it at their own libraries. One of the librarians just came back at our last meeting and said, "Hey, you talked about this ramen tasting workshop that you did. I went in and did it, and it was so much fun, and my teens had a blast." Book recommendations, to build collections, to do recommendation and readers advisory. We're always sharing book ideas and book examples. We definitely, I mean, I can't remember the name of the last book that was like spread through all of us, but you always hear like, oh, somebody talked about, I want to date myself. Somebody talked about The Fault in Our Stars. I've been recommending it to my teens for like the last 2 months, and everybody loves it. The leadership experience, if you want to become a manager, if you want to serve on a professional development board or something, BAYA can offer you leadership experience, both professional as executive committee members. We'd love to have you join the executive committee, take my job, but also to do promotions, to present at CLA or ALA or other programs and other professional development conferences. Maybe you can get something published in Library Journal or another professional source. And we're looking to grow, right? We've done a lot of things we're happy with, but we're building this comprehensive support network that includes our school libraries to strengthen those partnerships. We're looking at ways to do grants from the funds that we have and find more ways to advocate for teen library services in the Bay Area and in the state as large.
Yeah, I would say that Erik and I are prime examples of how the leadership experience in BAYA can really be leveraged to open doors to promotions and other opportunities for sure. So you might be thinking, this all sounds so great, but I'm new. I'm still in library school, or I really don't work with teens, or I mean, I guess I have to work with teens now because we don't really have a teen librarian and I don't know what to do. Well, BAYA works for every career stage. So if you're just starting out, you're still in school, you will get foundational skills workshops, programming basics, collection development 101. Really great bunch of resources to help support your core competencies, of course. It's all there. And you'll have a whole network of professionals to ask questions about the library degree because we did it ourselves. You'll get that confidence building through peer support and mentorship. And it's a network to really kind of establish those beginning professional relationships. So when I hear about a librarian opening in SJPL, San Jose Public, or Erik hears about one, you've already built that connection. We will let you know when we hear about that so you can immediately apply. Again, access to those tried and true templates and resources, and a safe space to ask those beginner questions without judgment. We have all been there, and we are happy to bring you in and help you have really successful teen programs and work with teens. If you're mid-career, 2 to 10 years, you're kind of ready to advance your programming techniques and develops more innovative approaches. This is a great place to kind of grow that leadership development and some of those supervisory skills, and just kind of look at more specialized topics like trauma-informed practice and integrating advanced technologies into your work. We provide a lot of career advancement strategies, interview prep, and opportunities to mentor newer librarians, which is incredibly rewarding. If you are a seasoned pro and you're like, I know this, I can do this, then we want your expertise. This is a perfect space for you to kind of share that expertise, share what works in your library, what you learned doesn't work through presentations and mentoring. We are always looking for people to come and present and share what they know on all of these topics we discussed. Strategic thinking and sort of system-wide planning and professional legacy building and recognition can be part of BAYA and part of what the progress of your career. Really sharing some industry trend analysis and sort of future planning about the role of BAYA as well as teen librarianship in general as we see the profession continue to shift and evolve is very important. And there's always a role for leadership within BAYA and beyond. If this is a career pivot or you have absorbed the new teen programming at your library, we support those transitions. We are here to sort of bring you up to speed, a crash course in teen development, current trends, some quick programs you can put on as you begin to sort of navigate this new space you're working in. The network will help establish credibility in this new specialty. And again, we have a lot of resources to share for that rapid skill development. So how do you get involved? So BAYA, we do ask for a membership of just $20 a year. That's it. I think I spent more on lunch today. But you are welcome to join us as a guest. So if you're like, I don't know, come to our next meeting. We meet the fourth Monday of each month. Our next meeting is September 25th. It's 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Zoom, completely virtual. So you can be in Wyoming, you can be in Boston, and you can come and join us. Our next meeting, we are talking about supporting your teens post-high school, college, career, and beyond. What to do with those young adults now that we have in our spaces, and how we can best help them. And then November 18th is our last meeting of the year. Again, same time. But we are doing our BAYA elections. We are looking for new leadership in this space. And this is where we do a lot of our planning and business for the next year, for 2026. This is where we set those professional development topics and goals for 2026. So if there's something you're very interested in and you would love to contribute, or you recognize something that maybe we're missing and we need to kind of look at together as, people focused in teen librarianship, we would love to have you come and join us and share. You can always visit our website, www.baya.org. And there we have a variety of blogs talking about different readers advisory resources, access to our meeting minutes and past recordings, bunch of program share outs, templates. It's all there for you. Or you can always just email us at bayalibrarian@gmail.com. Jess, who unfortunately couldn't be with us today, is always at the other end of that. And she will share any questions that may pop into your head, later tonight with Erik and myself, and we're happy to connect with you. We would love to have you come and join our community, even if it's just because you're just kind of curious, and you think maybe this is something I want to do, but I'm not entirely sure. So I really want to thank you all so much for your attention. We are excited to welcome into our BAYA community, into teen librarianship in general. We are here for some questions and any discussion. Please feel free to approach us afterward. Email us at bayalibrarian@gmail.com, and you can connect with us if you have any other questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you both, Megan and Eric. Your presentation was outstanding and polished and just everything. Um, Thank you so much for accepting the invitation to come back as alumni and reach out to our students. Everyone, we have the Q&A open, and so just access it from the ribbon at the bottom of your web browser, your Zoom browser, and go ahead and type in your questions. I'll be reading the questions out, and then we'll pass it off to our special guests. So we have one question that's come in. Can you be a member if you do not live in the Bay Area?
Yeah, we have decided that we really want to build connections everywhere. So we say Bay Area, but that beyond part is very serious. As I mentioned, we have people who, I mean, it's a big debate in California about whether or not you're Bay Area, but we have people who are not in the Bay Area. And because we're all virtual on Zoom online, absolutely, please connect with us. We would love to have a big cross section of teen librarianship and people who are interested in this kind of work from all over the country and even the world.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, the
teens are
next
teens.
question. Oh, Eric,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say teens are teens no matter where they are in the country. So,
So
um,
accurate.
Okay. Will there be an October meeting? And if so, what will be the topic?
Thank you for the question. So we meet on the odd months. So there will be no October meeting. So it'll be September and then November. But the cycle starts over again in January. And we will be setting all of the topics for the year at our November meeting. And if you're curious, if you go to BAYA.org, you can see all of our past links to our past meeting presentations. We record the actual workshop or the presenter, and then you can see the meeting minutes. So on there is, and Jessica takes those notes, and she is thorough. It's so wonderful. So you can see all the books we talked about. You can see all the program share outs. And she collects pictures and templates and PDFs from what people have done, and she embeds those all into the notes. So that all exists on our website at baya.org if you go to our meeting minutes. So September meeting, and then November meeting, and then we won't have a meeting until January, and it's the fourth Tuesday, I'm sorry, on the odd months.
Okay, next question. Are all the events and meetings at the same times? I'm not available Monday mornings.
Yes, so they are available at 10 a.m. on Tuesday, and that's Pacific time. It's 10 to 12. We usually spend that first 30 minutes, 45 minutes doing sort of program share out, book share out, and then we have a little bit of time to do a bit of a check-in, and that's where it's, like what you say here stays here. And then we move right into our presenter around 11 o'clock. Our presenter goes for 30 minutes to 45 minutes, whatever the topic is. And then we do a little bit of BAYA business those last 15 minutes. So it does fill up our 2 hours, but it is Tuesday mornings at 10 a.m. Pacific time.
I'm hoping to work part-time when I finish my MLIS degree. How common are part-time teen-focused library positions in the Bay Area?
Erik?
that's a good question. I think there's not a lot of part-time teen librarian only positions. Usually, if a library system cares enough to have a teen librarian, it will have one full-time. I know some locations have one, but you might be better served looking for a more broad youth services librarian. A lot of those times will be like 50% children's, 50% teen. And some places have like 50% adult services, 50% teen. We have one of those in our system, actually.
Just to go off of what Erik said, it's fairly accurate. In at San Jose Public Library, we are all generalists here. So our work could mean if you're at a branch, let's say the Biblioteca branch, in the morning you could do a baby lap sit story time. In the afternoon, you could be leading sort of the Teens Reach teen volunteer group. And in the evening, you could be weeding the adult collection. So you do a little bit of everything. Now, that being said, where I'm at, where I supervise the youth services department, I have 2 librarians dedicated to teen services and 2 to children's. And my part-timer, she does a little bit of both. She helps to support teen librarians and she helps to support teen services, the children's services. I do know some locations just by the nature of the way they work and the interest of the part-timer librarian around San Jose, because we have 25 locations, that teen services person is part-time, but it's usually because that is a particular interest of theirs. So there, it really depends upon the library that you connect with and that you get hired at, but it very well may be a part of your duties, or it might be something that is just a part of your duties.
Building off that too, just really quick, this is not something that you'll find in any job descriptions, but teen librarian work almost always goes to the librarian who wants to do the teen librarian work, even if that's not their official role. So you can often sort of make a space for yourself in wherever you work with teen librarian work.
Yeah. Good question.
Okay, we have a comment from Dr. Bernier. Your regional profile is so much more important now that YALSA has been reappropriated.
Yeah, thank you. I completely agree. Seeing that YALSA is being, reabsorbed into ALSC, it's one of those things that focusing on some of these local connections and finding spaces where teen librarians can continue to network and share is exactly that, even more important, especially in these times where we're seeing a lot of these book challenge bans, this changing landscape of technology and literacy for our young people. It's very important. Erik?
And we want you to join BAYA because we're established. We've got a lot of good resources. We're up and ready. But my ambition would be start Boston Area Young Adult Association, start Wyoming Young Adult Association. You don't need to do a lot. If you're not collecting dues, you don't need to register or anything like that. And please reach out to us. We can give you our advice and our feedback. I'd love to see more regional teen serving organizations.
Fantastic. Okay, next comment or question is, I am still deciding if I want to be a teen librarian. What aspects of BAYA do you think would be the most useful for someone like me?
So I'll start. I'd say program shareouts are probably the best thing because that's where you get the most immediate payoff. Hearing about all the cool things that everybody does, hearing about how excited the teens are, watching the other teen librarians' faces just like light up when they talk about, their incredible underwater basket weaving program. That's fantastic. But also a lot of if you're the sort of person that gets like motivated for like a cause or for advocacy, a lot of our topical discussions are really helpful to motivate that. They really make a good case for why it's important to be a teen librarian.
Yeah, exactly what Erik said. Small story. At our last meeting, we had a member really talk about the growth of this D&D program that they had and about how it's made people who they would come into the library, teens, they would come to the library, but they didn't really engage, really kind of open up, and the way that they've built friendships around this and how important it's been in just really seeing these young people kind of grow into this space and take ownership over this program, as well as the learning experience it's been for her in figuring out how all of this works and how to put this on, as well as how to be a supportive figure for each of these young people. It was really inspiring and encouraging. And you get to learn exactly how she did, and you can reach out to her and talk to her on the phone, be like, all right, who did you connect with? So I just go to my local comic book shop and I can talk to them there and they'd be interested and want to DM, a game for us. And that's really cool and exciting. And I encourage you, if you're still not sure, come to one of our meetings. Please feel free. You don't have to pay $20. You don't. That's there if you want to help support. But I encourage you to come to our September meeting and really kind of see what we have to offer. We are more than happy to welcome you. And it's a great place to ask questions.
Awesome. Okay, next question. Are there any remote opportunities to work with teens in a library or alternative setting?
There's not really anything that I know. I mean, like, if you had my job, right? I spent a lot of time remote because my bailiwick is the entire county. Uh, that being said, I've been to 7 libraries this week, and I'm going to 2 more. So, really, this is such a public-facing service job that I'm sure there are some remote opportunities, but I don't know of any.
Yeah, it would have to be something teen adjacent, right? Like working on with publishers for teen books or something, maybe writing reviews or something like that. But working with teens is something that I think is most effective in person. And working with our youth commission recently, I just heard from one of our teens. She even said, she's like, I don't want to do it if it's not in person. And that's how our teens are feeling right now. These are teens that started, finished 8th grade during COVID and started high school during COVID. They want to connect in person.
Absolutely. Okay, we have another question from Dr. Bernier. Are you planning a profile at CLA?
It's a good question. Do we have one this year? I don't think we do.
We have not engaged with CLA this year. So we were at CLA last year. We did a night track program called the YA War Room. We're very passionate about this work, obviously.
Uh-huh.
And I know that Erik was looking to do something and it didn't pan out. BAYA is not going to do it this year. It's really tricky with our budgets this year. So getting down to Riverside is or Pasadena. Where is it this year? Pasadena,
Riverside.
Riverside.
It's
Yeah.
Riverside
Riverside.
this year.
Yeah, it's a little bit tricky. It's not to say that we don't consistently try and reach out and engage with the youth services interest group, which is an interest group focused on youth services for CLA. And we've been in talks right there to really kind of connect their membership with BAYA and encourage them to come to our meetings as well as sort of share those resources.
I will say we don't have it, but the California State Library is going to talk about its Teen Succeed grant, and which was a teen internship grant for the county or for the state. And that came out in part out of discussions from BAYA.
Yeah.
So, we're not there.
Yeah.
But we do try to have a presence. And we're still offering the Youth Services Award
Yeah.
in partnership. So we'll be presenting that award to a good winner this year.
Fantastic. Okay, next question. I'm new to MLIS. Did you have a class at SJSU that you found most helpful for working with teens?
You want to go?
Oh, so yeah, I'll go. So when I entered the MLIS program, I didn't want to work with anybody. I wanted to work in an archive or a museum and work with old photographs, and not connect with teens. And it wasn't until my last semester that I started working with young people and were like, well, this is what I have to do forever now. That being said, um, ironically enough, our reference interview class, I forget the exact name of it because it's been a minute since I graduated, was extremely helpful on how to listen to what people are saying because they don't say exactly what they want. And you kind of have to listen around it and really think about how to ask questions. And honestly, that's talking to teenagers. They don't always say exactly what they want. They're sometimes a little bit hesitant. And understanding how to apply that reference interview to just talking with teenagers and getting them to tell you about Minecraft or, this new singer they're listening to, and finding ways to engage and then taking that and turning it into like a program or something or be like, okay, how can I connect this to a book they might be interested in? Has been very helpful. So not directly about young people or youth services, but you will find that that class will serve you in the long run if you can understand how to really shape it to each person you're working with.
I'll say for me, 261A, the Programming Services for Young Adults, that really transformed me from a young library student who liked manga and thought teens were okay to somebody who's an iconoclast and really passionate about teen services. Um, but I'll also say take some weird classes because
Yeah.
you never know what will help. I have a nonprofit marketing class that I took that was fantastic. I use that almost every day.
My photo seminar classes were fantastic. And I find a way to wedge it into conversations.
Okay, next question. Do you know if any BAYA members have taken a YA class through the Open Classes program at SJSU?
Hmm. I don't know that they have. Nobody has shared that with us. I would love to have somebody come to BAYA and share what you learned and those opportunities with us so we can share it with our membership and we can engage around that. Um, yeah.
Yeah, so iSchool Open Classes is where alumni, current students, not current, alumni, prospective students, and community members can take a class, try us out, and then if they decide to join one of our programs, they could transfer it in or just use it for professional development.
That's fantastic. We will share that with our membership at
Great.
the next meeting for sure. And if that's something that you have done, question asker, please come join us and share your experience.
All right. I'm currently a high school teacher and in the program to become a teacher librarian. I grew up in Europe and realized that I often don't have the references that other students seem to have regarding YA fiction. I sometimes worry that it will be an obstacle in me finding a job. Do you have any recommendations for my situation and how to level up?
Um, I don't think it will. I think it's one of those, I have not found that to be the case. Now, when I sort of decided I'm going to pivot and move towards public librarianship and focus more on working with young adults, and my first job being paraprofessional in a middle school, all of a sudden I was presented with this whole collection. I knew very little. I could point to you where Harry Potter was and maybe a couple of the classics, and that's about it. And through that work, I really had to learn the collection as I went. It wasn't something that was prohibitive to me getting the job or even the job afterwards at San Jose Public Library, but it was something that I really learned to love as a way to connect with young people. YA literature I became the young adult fiction selector for San Jose Public Library. It was literally my favorite thing I got to do here. And it became truly a passion. My recommendation to you is to just start reading YA books and start recommending them. If you really want, you can read, you can kind of start looking at like, what are the kids, what do they see on Book Doc? What are they talking about on Instagram? And
Mhm.
that's a really great place to start, just so you have that sort of connection point, and that will lead you to more things. But we have a lot of different resources that are available to help you kind of fill in that gap. So you don't have to know everything, you just have to know how to find everything. But I tell everyone, read all the YA you can read often.
The ability to book talk a book that you've only read the back cover of, or you've done a quick Google search, is more important than knowing every popular teen book that's come out.
Yeah, just get a hook for a book. Be like, you know,
All right, that's good.
what would you do if your sister disappeared and you only found this bloody knife? Well, that's what they have to do in this book. That's all. Like, I didn't read that book, but I know some kid will be like, heck yes, and they'll check it out.
Okay, we have 2 minutes left. We have a few more questions. We'll see how many we can get to. I'm currently a teen services coordinator going for my MLIS and the only teen person at my library. So I feel like this would be beneficial to me, but I'm in Wyoming. Do you guys have a focus on some rural events as well?
Mm. That is a really great point, Erik.
I'll just say, like, because the majority of our library workers come from the Bay Area, we've kind of got more of an urban suburban tilt. But so many of our programs, so many of our book talks are just as applicable to rural areas. And if you were to become a member and you can just come up and say, let's talk about this issue that affects me, we'll give you time for that because all teen libraries, all teen workers are important.
Yeah.
interested in working in libraries on military bases. Do you know if there are any YA positions there?
I don't know too much about military-based libraries. I'm going to kind of lead with no, but while there are, that's just my understanding of it. But one of the more unique roles that you can serve as a young adult or teen librarian is working with our juvenile justice centers and being a teen librarian in those spaces. And there you're working with a very unique population of teens, and you really have to be kind of thoughtful about how you work with them and support them doing that. I know that we have one of those librarians. I think that I haven't seen them at one of our meetings, but I'm pretty sure they registered through through one of our north counties in the Bay Area. So we do have people who have worked in spaces where you are looking at a completely different population of young people than we are used to working with in the public population or a school librarian sort of setting.
Okay. Do you think AI can be helpful when engaging with teens?
Mm.
That's a controversial question. I don't think it's fully answered out. I think there's incredible value to AI, but it has to be used responsibly. There's a lot of data going down about teens who are and adults who are experiencing psychosis because they overuse AI. I think it's part of media literacy that we need to know how to use it responsibly.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I think it's about media literacy as well as just digital literacy. Understanding, how to identify what is good, how to fact check responsibly, as well as how to protect yourself online. It's a big thing we have to continually remind our young people.
And we have one more comment from Dr. Bernier that you, Erik, were in his very first 261 class. So that's nice.
It was the most important class that I've taken. It's why I'm here. Sorry if that's sappy, or you can blame Dr. Bernier for that.
It's all full circle.
Wow. I just want to thank both of you and commend you for joining us and sharing your service of presenting with our students as alumni. We sure appreciate your time this evening. I think it was really valuable for everyone to hear about your work and your service, and you're inspiring all of us as teen librarians. Their work is so important right now in our society and with everything going on. And thank you for being a light for all of our youth. So if you want to get in touch with BAYA, do you want to say your email address one more time before we close?
Yes, let me see if I can share it just really quick. So it is BAYAlibrarian at gmail.com. It is right there on our website, baya.org. So if you just search Bay Area Young Adult Librarians, Bay Area Librarians, we should pop up. But we would love to hear from you. Please feel free to reach out.
Okay. Thanks so much, Megan and Erik, and I hope it was fruitful and you get a lot of members from this experience. And the recording will be available on our YouTube channel, so I'll share that out with you too as well.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay.
We'll be waiting.
Okay, thanks. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye.